Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Cluster API 110 CI Signal team meeting for the week of March 19th. Um, we are a CNCF SIG, Kubernetes SIG, and we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct. That's what I meant to say. If you want to participate, use the raise hands feature, though it's only 3 people on this meeting, so I don't mind if you just talk. And yeah, this will be recorded and put up on my YouTube, and hopefully that's how you're seeing this if you're not here. Otherwise, I don't know how you're seeing it unless you have psychokinetic powers, in which case that's really cool. Tell me about them. All right, so let's talk about this week's stuff. It's been a couple weeks since we met. I was in Vegas on vacation, and then I was sick last week. Um, Actually, I don't think anybody showed up last week. Yeah. So now I can get you caught up on what's happened, which isn't much and yet a lot at the same time. So last few days ago now, was it? Yeah, it feels like it's been a week. It's probably only been like 4 days or something. All the end-to-end tests have been broken because of kind image pull rate limits. So our end-to-end tests are built on using kind and Docker. So Kubernetes and Docker. And the image for that on Docker Hub got reclassified as no longer having an unlimited amount of pulls because it used to be in the
ആ
open source program, and then it was taken back out because
ഇതാ
you
പറ
have to.
എന്താ പറ ഞാൻ കോളിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh sorry. I
That was so good.
No, yeah, that's how I felt when I found out that kind was no longer being unlimited rate limits. So the yeah, it got declassified as OSS, which I guess happens every year. So they have to renew every year. And Ben the Elder is working on getting it. It could already be fixed by the time that you see this video. So that's one thing that they're doing to fix all the tests that are failing. But the other thing being, they've added a bunch of caching to the image pull process, which that's a good thing we should have had anyway. So it's always nice when you have these sorts of issues because they inspire you to make your tests better. And Christian made a PR that I've got linked in the notes here. If you'd like to see how all those image caches work, you can go through a listing of all the changes and see where he's edited all the manifests to do pre-pulls and preload of images, which is something that Docker and stuff can do. So I was going to actually look at this closer later because I wanted to know exactly what mechanism was doing it, and I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, this whole preload images thing, I don't know if it's a cluster API thing, a kind thing, or both. So anyway, either way, he submitted PR, and that is the other half of making the tests work better. So this PR has improved the image, excuse me, the CI signal on its own. So you see we have purples again instead of just straight up reds. Um, and if we go through the main signal, it looks like as of was it midday yesterday, I guess, is when he got it in, and you can see everything started going green again. So yay. Our job as the CI signal team in this one was just basically report it and wait for the Kubernetes gods to have a discussion and figure out how best to fix it. And so that's happening. Other things that happened yesterday, the 110 release branch was created. We are at that point of the process, and that led to this is our big PR moment where the CI Signal team makes a PR and contributes it to the whole process, which is to say we define the 110 release branch in the end-to-end test repository for Kubernetes so that it can start testing against 110. I made that PR yesterday because the maintainers for Cappy said they really wanted this in as soon as possible. So I got that in as soon as possible. I was originally hoping to like hold off and have one of you guys make it just so you have the practice of and some artifact to say, hey, I was on the CI Signal team. I made this PR, but it turns out we couldn't wait, so I apologize. Um, And what else? Oh, and there was another half of the PR. So one, just so you're aware, the our big PR thing was in two places. One is in Kubernetes test info, which is where all the prow jobs for Kubernetes tests are defined. And so what I had to do, so you're aware, is edit one of the config files for the prow tests to call out. Or excuse me, is this the dashboard? Yeah, one config file to say do the 110 tests. Another config file to say display them on the testing dashboard, and then another file. Yeah, sorry. So I think this is the dash. Yeah, this lifecycle config file. This is a dashboard that says, "Hey, show the one test results on the dashboard." The dashboard being this test grid thing you've probably seen before. We've talked about it in previous meetings. So now 110 shows up here. So here it is, right up here, dash 110, and it's mostly green. That's good to see. The other thing was the other half of this change. Oop, I lost it. Boop, 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 boop. I really got to stop using Arc for this. I don't like the way it manages my tabs. Aha, here it is. So the oh, this is what to do. Where is the what I did do? Yeah, here it is. All right. So the other thing is right. So one file define what shows up on the dashboard that I showed you. The other file says, "Hey, here's we want to do tests for 110 as well." And this so I had to copy and paste from main to 110 to let it know to do all the 110 tests. And then there's another, these three files were created, but these are generated. So we have a script in the cluster API repo that reads this file that says cluster API prowjob gen, which says how many test configs do we want and for what, and like what are the various variables for them. And then we run this script over in the main cluster API repo that generates those files, and then we commit them in the test info repo. So it's like you download the test info repo, you download the um, cluster API repo, you edit some files in the test info repo, you run a script in the cluster API repo, and then commit the files it creates back in the test info repo. So there's probably a better way to do that, but that's how this one works. So, all right. And then there was one other PR that I submitted yesterday. So it's a total of two PRs, but it feels like it was more, even though it was not. Just because there's so many. Oop, I typoed. Cluster API. Okay, thanks, Google. Pull request. Author is me. Closed. Yeah, here we go. So the other one that we do is this one where we add a file. We edit a file inside the 110 branch that tells the markdown link checker GitHub action to only check the 110 branch. I had no idea that this was a thing until yesterday, but apparently we have this weird config where we have markdown link checks being run in each branch, and we define the test within each branch instead of some sort of matrix that runs on all the branches at once. So I don't think this is like the best CI definition that you can have because it requires this manual override every time we cut a new branch, but that's what we have. So I had to go and edit inside the 110 branch this GitHub workflow to say, hey, you're the 110 branch, so don't run on main. Otherwise, it would not really work right. So, and I originally, just for comedy, I originally submitted that PR. You can see this one that's closed. I submitted it against the main branch, which was wrong. So and Fabrizio was like, I think you meant to put this into the 110 branch. And it's like, yes, I did. That was a mistake. So I had to fix that. All right. Okay. That is, I think, Ah, that is, yeah, here, if you're wondering where all this stuff is defined that we were doing, is the cluster API repository inside docs, release, role handbook, CI signal. We have this whole thing about like set up jobs and dashboards for a new release branch. And actually, oh, that's not it. There's a timeline. There's a bunch of tick boxes for the main release, and it gets down to this box, which is ours, which is this setup jobs and dashboards. So this is the directions I followed for making the new proud job generation, for making the new dashboard. And then the one note is that we skipped removing release 1.7 for now. Because unlike how it's defined in the documentation, the maintainers said they wanted to keep 1.7 around until we actually truly released 1.10, which I think that is I think that's a new way of doing things from how it's documented. So what I have as a challenge for any of the shadows, otherwise I can get to it eventually, but this seems like a good, first contributor, first times problem, is to update this documentation in the CI signal handbook to, instead of saying that we make the new that we drop the old branches immediately, to instead talk to Steve, Stefan, and Christian, figure out like when exactly we want to drop the old branch and document it in this document. Update this documentation to properly call out when we're supposed to remove the old branch. Because right now it feels like when we're making the new release 1.10 jobs, we're supposed to delete the old one, like the N-2. And it sounds like that's not what they want to do anymore. So we should document what they actually want now and keep the docs up to date so that the next release CI signal team has good documentation to work off of. All right. That's my spiel. Questions? Apparently my hand is up, says Zoom. I don't know why. Thanks, Zoom.
I don't have any question. Thank you. This was very helpful and informative.
So does that make sense? Like, to have you or Sepida or Sharam, for one of you to do kind of the documentation update?
Yeah,
Is that reasonable? Like, you don't need to do
yeah,
it today or anything, but like to have that on your radar and be like willing to do that.
yeah, no, absolutely. Just one thing, the contacts, who told you to keep
Yeah, that's a good
the
idea.
1.7 for now?
Yeah. Let me find that.
Thanks.
Stefan.
Okay.
So
Uh, and I assume the handbook needs to be updated. So, like, I mean, I'll talk to him, but just so we know and we don't forget for this release, I guess at the end, like the final week before marking this release is done, we will go and drop the support for
right.
uh, that version. Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah,
improvement
I can do
task. Maybe
that.
I can add this to the improvement. Yeah. All right. If you do that, please make an issue and document like your thought, what you discover, just to have it
Mhm,
written down, and then we could
mhm.
tie that issue to the PR.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
And actually, let me know when the issue is created. If you do all this in like 5 minutes and just knock it out, that's fine too. But if you do it in pieces, let me know when the issue is created, and I will add it to this improvement task dashboard so that it's on Matt's plate so that Matt, as the release overlord, can see
Mhm.
like, oh, this is in progress.
Okay. Oh well.
All right, cool. Whew. All that said, is there anything we want to discuss or set up times or plans for doing more pairing or anything like that?
So during the days that I was watching the tests, there was one test that was failing on different versions. Not all the time, but I think I saw it at least 3 times on different versions. So like once on 9 and once on 8 and I guess a couple of times maybe on 7. I don't have the list of the tests in front of me. I'm driving, but I think it was something about I think it was an end-to-end test for high availability or something.
Okay.
If you can find the Slack thread, it is documented there. Uh, I haven't checked yesterday after the tests were fixed to see if that is still failing or not, but I think that is probably something we might want to look at. Or again, wait until the next time it fails.
It is so hard to see any legitimate failures at the moment while everything is recovering back
Just
to green,
okay.
right?
Okay.
But
Um,
I'm looking to see if I can find the thread. So I think it's
I think on the last message that I sent, or maybe the one before the
oh,
last,
I
I had
found it.
mentioned something. Okay, which one is?
When testing cluster API working on self-hosted clusters using ClusterCast with an HA control plane should pivot bootstrap cluster to a self-hosted
Yeah,
cluster.
that's the one. Yeah, I remember the HA. I thought it was high availability, but
So
maybe it's not.
this test can fail for a variety of reasons, but let's see.
Mhm.
And like the errors you'll get are be like API calls didn't work, and you're like, does that just mean a node didn't come up, or does it mean something more important? And
Okay,
don't
so
know.
again, to that point, that's the thing. To that point, I wonder if there is any opportunity for us to make the logging better or anything. I just thought maybe at some point we want to look at if it happens again. Right now, I guess we can wait. I think because I saw it a few times, I was like, yeah, maybe we should look at this just to see why it's randomly failing once in a while. Because if it's something that we can fix or again make the logging better, uh, if it ever happens again, it's just gonna make our own life easier, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree with you, and yeah, we'd have to dig in to try and figure out what actually happened here.
so something maybe for next time or sometime that everyone is available. I would like to
It
just
was
review it together and see
yeah,
like if
yeah.
anything
Yeah.
there we can fix or do anything about.
All right. Um, just thinking about my schedule for the rest of the week.
Oh, this week is nuts for me. Not this week.
Okay.
Sometime I
All
don't know
right.
either next meeting or I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it's
Sometime
yeah
next week, and we should circle around and schedule it later.
yeah maybe by that time we see that failure again and we decide that yeah okay absolutely we want to look at this or we're like you know what it's not worth it. I don't know. We'll
It'll
see.
probably be
Maybe,
worth it, but yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I
All
mean
right.
maybe something even more urgent like more legitimate failure happens till then and we can look at that.
Mhm.
But if not, I am interested in looking at this one together.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Sharam, do you have anything to add or questions? Otherwise, I'm going to call this.
Uh, yeah, the only question that I had was related to the PR that you made last day. So I was wondering if you would get to do that like once more. Like I'm guessing like when the next release is cut, we'd be
We
getting a
won't get to
chance.
do it again. That will be 111 the next time that happens.
Oh yeah, right. I thought maybe this was like a yeah. I was thinking of something else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this particular set of PRs is once per cycle. So, yeah.
Uh,
Right.
do we have any other kind of I don't have the per week list of tasks, but do we have anything else for the rest of the release other than again checking the end-to-end tests? Do you know?
Hold on a second. I'm taking some notes. Next week when we have time. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the. I don't think so, but give me 1 second while I copy this link. Here's an example of it. All right, now let's go over to. Where is the release cycle?
Oh, I feel old. See, yeah, never mind.
I have to find where this file is. Release cycle, release onboarding. Was it in an issue? Maybe it's in an issue. Ah, here it is. Okay. Here is the full so it's issue number 11656. And I've got it shown on the screen in the video here. It's the task for the 110 release cycle. And we can scroll down and see we got week 1, week to 4, blah 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 blah. Our CI manager stuff would be here in week 11. And we've got setup jobs and dashboards, add jobs for the
Are you going here?
Say what?
Sorry, no, I was talking
okay.
to.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. So, in week 11 is the thing I talked about earlier that I did yesterday. If I look through week 12, week 13 is KubeCon, so nothing's happening that week. 13, 14, 16, 15, 16, 17. Nothing else is specifically called out for our team. So we are
Okay.
back to just monitoring the signal and trying to make the test less flaky. So this was our big moment.
Aww. Aww. Really
Honestly, yeah,
missed
we
it.
don't it's honestly it's not that big of a moment. I'm just exaggerating, but like
Well, I guess I hope
the
that
big thing is us
for the
doing
rest of the time we have together, we get to work on some cool.
fixing the tests and monitoring the signal is our main duty. Like that is the important thing we're doing. It's more important than this PR because anybody could make that PR.
My
So.
connection is bad.
Oh, okay. I said the continuous monitoring of the signal is more important than this PR because any of the maintainers can just whip out that PR really quickly. So don't feel like you missed something important by not contributing to this PR because
Yeah.
the important thing we're doing
Hmm.
is reporting on the signal and figuring out how to make it better and why
Yeah.
things broke.
No, I think part of the challenge, and maybe Shriram has this. Holy, my connection is so bad. I'll be.
And we lost her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
While she reconnects, actually, no, I don't have anything else to plug or anything. I will not be at KubeCon, and that makes me sad. I don't know if either of you were going to be at KubeCon, but would have been nice
I
to see
am
folks.
planning to be there. Chris,
cool.
where are you based out of?
I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, in the U.S.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a talk selected for the maintainer summit, so I'm hopefully planning to
There
be
you go. Yeah, I hope you're there, so
Yeah.
you can give your talk.
Yep.
Sorry, guys, my connection is really bad.
No worries. Are you going to be at KubeCon, Sepida? Okay. Apparently, it's still really bad connection.
Or just that she's on mute.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or she's on mute and she can't get off mute because the connection is so bad.
Oh,
And she
oh
gone.
yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just call this for now. Thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you next week. Let me go get this posted and keep watching the signal. And again, post in Slack anything that you need, any questions or anything you find. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, guys. Sorry, I just came back.
Hey, you're back. All right.
Sorry about that.
We were
Thanks.
asking if you were gonna be at KubeCon or not.
Oh no, I won't be.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna go?
I'm not, but Suram is.
Oh, nice. Enjoy, man. Have a blast
Yep.
and
I don't know.
Thanks.
Just
I'll
do
I'll, I'll
everything.
I'll miss you guys there.
No, I wasn't lucky this year, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have fun,
Same here.
guys.
All right. Well,
We'll
thanks
see you.
everybody.
Take care.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
next time. Bye bye.
Bye.